on this computer. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Norma. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm excited. This is our first reset day. I'm hoping that we get people to join, but if not, we're going to upload this video onto our Facebook group so people can see what the format is moving forward. And also, we need to, I guess, well, we'll go through our housekeeping and all that, but yeah, I'm excited. So
Yay!
do you wanna kick us off? Go through some of the housekeeping?
Sure. So this is our reset day, and this is happening once a month towards the end of the month or at the very beginning of the month. So today is the 2nd of May, and this is our reset for April. So April and May. So it will look something like how did the month of April go? What happened? Um, are we happy with it or not? And then the intentions for the next month, right? And this has to do with the challenge, for example, that we had in the magazine, and or not, right? It's personal as well. It might be goals that we talked about, health and wellness. It might have health and wellness goals, but it also might have business goals, financial goals, whatever it looks like for you right now. It's fine. And then the intention for the next month. So in May, you already all got our magazine. So, we're talking about mindfulness and meditation. So we are going to set the intention for May on, I want to say theme, but it might have nothing to do with that. It might be health, it might be whatever it looks like for you. Again, it's not set in
Yeah.
stone. We just want people to take stock and just really see where they go, because if you're not tracking it, you can see the progress you're making, right?
Yep. And Sarah created a wonderful workbook for us to go through. So the intention is to have this about 40 minutes
Yes.
because we know that your time is very precious. So, hopefully you can jump on and get the benefit of these meetings or these calls. Um, and the first 15 minutes is going through, yeah, 15 minutes or so is going through the workbook, and we can go through it together. And then the last half hour is maybe addressing any concerns, anything that you want to talk about. And we're here as a community. So, Sarah and I are here to support you, but other people that may be on the call may have been going through something similar and can chime in as to, what worked for them. I like what you said, Sarah, about like, this month is meditation, but doesn't necessarily need to be a meditation intention, but it's bringing in that meditation, right? It's so you're having a challenge in, let's say, your relationship, bringing in that mindfulness and the meditation around the relationship and taking the time to pause, as Brian, Michael O'Brien would say, pause, breathe, and reflect. Take a pause, breathe, and kind of reflect, which is mindfulness around what's going on in your relationship or what's going on financially, anything like that we can bring into mindfulness and meditation. And the other thing too is what we want to try here is almost like habit stacking. So taking your learnings from last month and what worked, continue with that. If something didn't work, well, kind of focusing on how the other things worked and maybe reevaluating what didn't work and bringing that into the new month. And again, talking about like mindfulness and meditation, putting some mindfulness around it. So we're kind of like habit stacking, if you will, on all of these elements that we're talking about in the magazine.
Yes, definitely. That's a good point. And again, we'll be talking about routines, we'll be talking about habits, we'll be talking about a lot of things. And you might resonate with some of them, and some of them are just not for you. And that's perfectly okay, because, it's called personal empowerment, personal development for a reason, because it's personal, it's, to you. So, whatever it looks like. But also, don't let us just say, oh, that's not for me, it's not me, I'm not. Remember, we're all here because we want to create that best life for ourselves, whatever it looks like for each one of us, right? But with no change, there's no change.
Yeah.
So something's got to give, right?
And it's in showing up, right? Like if you're not going to show up, you're not going to make that transformation. There's a sense of vulnerability in showing up and talking about things that perhaps didn't work and being accountable to yourself and seeing what you can do to make those things work. And that's
Yeah.
what Sarah and I are here to help you with. So we're hoping that if you're watching this recording, that maybe next month you will join us if you didn't join us for this month. But we're happy to be here and be part of the journey that you're on.
Yes. And you can always ask questions in the group, or if you want to do it in a more anonymous way, feel free to message us privately or to send an email, and we'll be addressing those questions. Yeah, without, talking about who is going through what. It doesn't matter, because, at the end of the day, in the group, people have gone through that, or, even us. I mean, our life paths are very different, Norma's and I, and our own experience, kind of gives us this permission to address certain topics. And what we don't want to address, or what we can't, or feel that we don't know how to, we have contributors in the magazine. And we might even have some that come and talk to you on one of these calls. We're working on that. So, you have me and Norma always, but we might have one of those contributors that month talking about that theme. And or about, something that's relevant, no matter what we're talking about that month, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it looks like it's just you and I on the call. So why don't
Well,
we put each other in the hot seat and go through I hate calling it the hot seat. It's really not a hot seat. Um, but go through the month, last month, what worked for us, what didn't work, and what are we doing for the upcoming month?
yes, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so let's work through this workbook. I love it. I love the color of it. I
Mhm.
love the quotes that you have in here. So, all right. So this month, how was April for you, Sarah? How did things go for you in April?
April for me was very challenging. It was very challenging health wise, and it was very challenging personally, um, in a few friendships. But I grew up a lot as well. And, I keep going back to those things that I have more difficulty, digesting, like those situations that I haven't really worked out yet in my head. They keep coming up, these lessons, and there were days that I just didn't want to learn anything more that day. So for me, it was a challenging month. So we talked about health and wellness in the magazine, and for me, health wise, it was challenging, but I finally addressed little things that I wanted to address when it came to my diet. I want to really eat more healthy, and that was one of my goals for this year. So I think my body just finally said, okay, enough. You said you were going to do it. You didn't, so now you're gonna do it. So yes, I've been eating a lot more healthier. I've been eating a lot less meat, which was one of the goals as well. And no alcohol.
That's good.
Yeah, well, I like champagne, so I did have a little bit of champagne yesterday, but it did not go down
Don't
well.
they have sparkling cider in France?
They do,
Not the same though, huh?
but it's really good. It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, no, I like it, but we don't drink every day, but on the weekends, usually, we like to go out for a drink, just my husband and I. So, yeah, so yesterday I tried it because I thought, well, I can, yeah, no. So definitely I've been telling myself that I was going to give up alcohol, but like I was saying it, but I wasn't feeling it because I really like a nice glass of wine. I'm sorry, I do. um, so yeah, no, that's not happening anytime soon because it really is not going down well. So water, yay! Because I'm not
Yay.
feeling like, yeah, I don't drink fruit juices or anything other than smoothies. And so yeah, water,
Yeah.
sparkling water. I love
Well,
sparkling.
I used to love martinis and I essentially don't drink anymore. But what I like to do is take the cherries from the martini, that we would put in
Yes,
the martini, and I would put it in my sparkling water.
exactly. And
And
that's
you drink it in a nice glass or like even a
yeah,
martini glass, something like that. So
good
it
hack.
seems like you had a good month. You learned a lot this month. You worked through a lot. Um, and
Yeah. So,
yep, go ahead.
yeah. No, go on.
No, so I just wanted to just follow through, when we just looking at our workbook. So what are the three things that you achieved and are grateful for?
Well, giving up alcohol, even if I was kind of forced to do it, that was good. I mean, I feel a lot better because, even though I don't drink every day, when I do drink, I get a little bit more sluggish. I can tell, even if it's a glass of champagne or wine or whatever it is, I feel more, yeah, slow. It's weird, but I do
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I'm happy that happened. I'm really glad that I changed my eating habits. Um, and I'm also very happy that I got to walk almost every day. Not every day, but I'm pretty happy with where I got to. So yeah, those are my three big wins.
So I'm looking at our April challenge. So we had time in nature. So it looks like you did that,
Did
right?
that.
Daily meditation.
On my walks, I like to think that when I go on my walks, I usually listen either to our playlist that I love creating for the group as well, or to a book. But the last 10 minutes, usually I don't listen to anything. So, it's just me and I hear my feet hitting the ground. And so for me, that's kind of a
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah. It's a walking meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um, explore a new physical activity.
no, we did not do that. Well,
But walking is
I
a physical
did.
activity, but it's not a new one.
You know what I did? No, I actually did try a new one. Thanks to our contributor of the May magazine, Candace. My life at 70, in my 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has a workout for the arms because she hurt her shoulder. So, and the osteopath or something told her what exercises to do, or a physical therapist, I think it was. And I didn't have like the weights to do the exercises, so I have my can of beans and I had my chickpeas and I did it with that. So now I've been doing it twice a week. Should be 3 times, but I'm pretty happy about that. Twice a week.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love Candace's video. She has some great videos on there,
She's
yoga and um yeah, maybe we'll feature one of her yoga videos in our upcoming
yes,
journal.
very good.
Um
So
yeah,
before we
so
go any
great.
further, what about you? How was this month for you, April?
So yeah, April was ebb and flow for me. So we went up to our place in Canada, opened it up, to me that's our place of serenity and, just peaceful. So got to really enjoy a few days because it was raining, so we couldn't do any yard work and just really sitting inside and taking the time to kind of embrace the nature that we have up there and got to go on some nice walks with my neighbor. Um, but then there were some challenges and I had to come home. My dad isn't well. So really concerned about him. So, trying to work through all of that. Um, that it really threw a monkey wrench almost into, and that's why I say like ebb and flow because, you're in such a high sometimes and then you get that um you know that monkey wrench that gets thrown at you and you just dip and but thankfully my dad is doing well. um and I really leaned hard into my meditation this month. I really leaned hard into my meditation and that's what got me through a lot of the ebb and flow. Even on the high days I continued with my meditation, so that worked really well for me. I also, as we talked about, I'm more into like a routine. Um, so one of the things that I've incorporated is the nitty pot. And I do the nitty pot every morning before I do the meditation because I feel like it really clears everything that's going on in your sinuses, even your third eye, because sometimes I do feel when I use the nitty pot that I get more clear. So I was doing the nitty pot and then doing my meditation. After that, I would journal and then do my exercise. And I did do a new exercise this month, which included more cardio. I was doing more weightlifting before that, and now it's cardio with weightlifting. So incorporating the weights with some cardio. So that's what worked for me. And
Nice.
some of the things that I'm grateful for is, of course, you, Sarah. I love what we're doing here. I love how we're supporting people and kind of helping them feel empowered to, take baby steps in their life to, live their best life. So I'm very grateful for that. Grateful that my dad is home and out of the hospital, and you know, it's still going to be a journey, but we'll see where that takes us. And overall grateful for my health and for my family.
Yeah. Yeah. We always take like, oh, I'm health, we've got health. We say it like, but it's really important because when we don't, uh, we're kind of stuck. Okay, so did you feel any resistance during the month, be it in achieving goals or your health or with a person?
um, so I guess as we're going through the month of May, um, I can't say I have any. Maybe hesitation, but maybe that's the same as resistance, right? Um, well, resisting is to me is holding yourself back, where hesitation is you want to move forward, but it's like you're maybe a little bit of anxiety, how that's going to go. Cause
That's
it's,
when you have
yeah,
anxiety as well, right?
Yeah, you know what, we're gonna be heading back up to our place in Canada. We're fostering a new dog, so there's a lot of things that are happening, you know, still trying to manage my dad's health. Um, but for me, in achieving my goals, I'm big into meditation. So I that's one thing that I continue to habit stack on. Um, I didn't talk about like last month, I worked really hard in eating foods that nourish me and nourish my body. Um, One thing that I heard yesterday on a podcast, which I didn't realize, is the food that we eat is what nourishes our cells. And I don't remember exactly how it was Mark Hyman that said it, but essentially, if you're eating Doritos, your cells are going to look like Doritos,
Really?
right? If yes, if you're eating a healthy fruit and healthy vegetables, that's what your cells will look like, and they will take that nutrition. So think about how you're feeding your cells. Are you feeding them Doritos, or are you feeding them food that is healthy and nourishing for your cells?
You know,
And what he said is it only takes 10 days and you can do an entire reset
right?
of
You
your
know,
cells.
it's when these things sometimes you only need to listen or to hear this to instantly think, what have I been doing to myself, right?
Yeah. But what I liked is, you know, you can reset. We're talking about reset today. You can reset your body in 10 days by just cutting out the alcohol, the sugar, the processed foods, you know, meat in moderation, but really and healthy meats, right? Not your hormone grown beef and chicken and things like that, but more like farm raised. But moving towards the vegetables, he says 3/4 of his plate is all vegetables,
Mhm. Yeah, I
you
saw
know?
that already. That and then a lean protein usually, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So think about what your plate looks like, you
yeah,
know, and at at the end of the meal, what do your cells look like? So what he was saying, for 10 days, if you just cut out, you know, the sugar, the processed foods, the alcohol, that you can reset your cells in 10 days. So I love that. So there's
yeah,
a challenge for everybody.
exactly. Well,
But then
I'm
it's
sure,
consistency. Then it's consistency. You got to continue, right?
like with
Stop
every
feeding your body Doritos.
yeah, like with everything, right? I mean, we know that the habits and the consistency are play a big role in whatever you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, and my friend and I, we hold each other accountable. We're the same height, the same weight. I'm probably, I think, 10 years older than her. But we're challenging each other to eat healthy, to cut out, you know, the processed foods. You know, we go walking, and we actually have a little competition going between the two of us. So, you know, but that's where accountability comes in, right? Having a buddy to do things with. Um, so from a health perspective and from, um, you know, part of my goal is to continue to eat well and win the bet.
exactly. Especially win the bet. Okay.
Yeah,
So you are happy with how you handled it because you got to meditate more as well
yeah,
last month, right?
yeah.
So what's in store for this month, for May? How do you want the new month to look like? What do you wish? What are your intentions for the new month?
So this month, you know, I want to continue with my routine, if you will. Um, you know, the nitty pot, the meditation, journaling, exercise. And sometimes I switch off the exercise with either walking with my friend up in Canada. Sometimes we walk like 8, 9 miles. So, you know, on those days I won't be lifting, but, you know, I'll incorporate either some yoga. And my hula hoop, I love my hula hoop. So
And
it's a weighted hula hoop. So check out that article in the May magazine about hula hooping, which is so good for you. It's so good for your core and for your hip flexibility and all that. So go purchase your hula hoop. Um, yeah, so that's my goal for the month is just to continue what I'm doing. Eating well. Yeah.
good. And is there anything you can do today to make sure that you are going to stay on track to do that?
I like the accountability.
Mm.
And the other thing is I just put it out there to all of you and to you, so everybody that's listening are my accountability partners to come back and say, "So, Norma, you said you were going to do this for the next month. How did it go?"
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so it's continuing with the meditation, the exercise, eating well. And actually, I'm going to bring a new thing into it. I'm going to take a digital detox.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to try, at 8 o'clock at night, turn everything off and even, finish my work and all that really. Um, and that's a boundary that I'm really bad about is sometimes I'll work until midnight.
Yeah.
I can't sleep or whatever, and I'll just go and start writing some articles or, doing things for the magazine. So this is where I think that's my biggest struggle is putting those boundaries in place and treating, this like a 9 to 5 job and just working 9 to 5 and doing that digital detox come 8 o'clock.
You know what they say? I left my 9 to 5 so that I could work 24/7 on my side hustle, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. But no, it's, just little boundaries, putting some little boundaries in place. Yeah.
Well, I like that because for like the last 2 years, all my books are on Apple Books. Like they're on on my iPad and my mini iPad because I have a mini because I can take it with me everywhere, like and just read wherever I am. But the thing is, there are you can shop on an iPad. You can play games on an iPad. You can't do that with a book. You can read the book.
Yeah.
I love reading, but I find myself more and more not going straight to my book and just see, oh, let's see what's going on here or there and what's happening. And I have like 4 books on my bedside table. That's normal for me. I read a lot, and there's a couple of books on my iPad as well. And I've been reaching for my iPad, and yesterday I played Candy Crush until midnight. And I go to bed at 10 p.m. I go to bed at 10 p.m., 10:20 like max. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So can
and
I challenge you to do a digital detox with me?
yes, yes, because
You
I
could
need
read. You're allowed to read, but that's it.
exactly. And I think it's because the iPad is not good, like they say, the blue light or whatever.
Oh,
So
that's what these classes are blue light glasses.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's the problem. It's because if I reach for the book, I'll get tired and I'll go to sleep like half an hour usually.
Yeah.
But with the iPad, I just am more and more awake. The longer I stay on the thing, which is not good. So yeah. So to finish us off, what do you want to feel in May? What is the feeling you want to have?
I want to feel light,
Hmm.
right? Right now things are just feeling so heavy. I feel like I've got a ton of bricks on my shoulders. I just want to feel light and be uplifted. Um,
Yeah.
And I have to say, my meditation really does that, but then some things, sometimes during the day, things get thrown at you. And it's really coming back to that mindfulness, coming back to that meditation that you did in the morning. And that's one thing that I'm not good about is redirecting those curveballs that get thrown at me potentially during the day to just pause and just go back to that feeling that I had during meditation. And that's where the
Mhm.
mindfulness comes in.
We need to talk about pattern interruptions,
Yeah.
because that happens to me with my thoughts a lot. I get very worked up with my thoughts. And I sometimes forget that I can just stop, because my thoughts, they are mine. I can think about whatever I want, and I don't need to let them control my life or my
Yeah.
day. So it's very useful to know, or even just to be conscient that that's going on, and that you can stop it, because sometimes it's just going on and we don't even realize. We can just say, "Hey, I'm in charge here, so you go
Yeah.
away."
That might be
Let's
a good topic for Sarah's Corner, pattern interruptions, if you haven't started that one yet. But
Why not?
yeah,
That's a
because
good
it's, yeah,
idea.
yeah. So what about for you? Did you feel any resistance this month?
Yes, I always feel a lot of resistance with everything I do, but um I'm pretty not pretty happy. I'm like, I think we're rock stars for, launching the magazine, creating the whole thing, just go knocking on doors. And yeah, I think that takes a lot. And I jokingly say that my superpower is to talk myself out of things. So I'm very happy that I get to do this with you, and that we get to push each other in a way. And you are there in the areas that I'm not, and I'm try to be there in the areas you're not as comfortable. And I think that that's been working out well. And and I think, and the resistance is, what are people going to think? You know,
Yeah. Well, we
that's
always think that, right? That's our mindset that's trying to control us.
exactly. So, I need to go back and say, yeah, okay, go away. Yeah, I didn't ask your opinion, so
Yeah.
you go away. And let's see what people have to say. And that's why we're here. We want people to give us feedback. We want people to tell us what they think, how we can, make the magazine even better, because the feedback we've been getting is very good. I'm very happy with it. And so, yeah, we have amazing collaborators. We have, we reach out, and people are amazingly kind and show up for us. So I'm very, very grateful for all of that. And yeah, the resistance was there, but I think now it's changing. It's not much resistance, but more, what can we do next? What's next?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love
So
that because we're always brainstorming, aren't we?
yeah.
Um, yeah. So the resistance, um,
Yeah.
I guess
So that
as a follow-up question, how did you deal with it, and are you happy with the way you handled, the
uh,
situations?
well, sometimes, I just scream at myself, and other times I would just give myself grace and just say move on, and other times I would not even allow myself to go there. So I'm proud that sometimes I didn't go to that dark place. Um yeah, so I'm a work in progress, so I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. And for
We're
this
all a
month,
work in progress.
yes.
We're all a work
And
in progress,
and
right?
for this month of May, I want to feel excited. I really want to feel excited.
More excited than you already are? Is
Oh
that
my
possible?
god. Yeah. I can get pretty excited about things that I'm really passionate about, this. And yeah, because when we work, and this is, I don't think it's just me, but when we do something from a place of excitement, we don't get in our head so much, we don't question ourselves so much, and decisions are made, quicker. And I feel that when I'm excited, I'm more attuned to my gut feeling, because I make the decision. I'm not thinking three times about it. I'm not going back and forward or and forth. And so I feel that things work even better than when I'm in that space of being cautious and being very professional and being very, because then I'm always counting on, or expecting or thinking about what's coming from the other side. And when I'm excited, of course, I'm always open to feedback, and I'm always open to whatever people have to say to me. But I also work better that way, and I don't question myself a lot. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're very high energy, and that's why
And I
we work
have
really
energy.
well together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's great because we feed off each other too, right? But it's the energy that you're carrying with you that helps you get through a lot of the things that you may be dealing with. And
Yes, that's true.
yeah. Um, can you do anything right now to ensure the month goes as you wish?
Yes, I've started my to-do list. And well, I've just committed.
Do you use your journal? Don't you have a journal of well, it's your planner. You have a planner.
Yeah, I use my planner. It's here. And I do use my planner for that. And I have my habit tracker there as well. So I just committed that I'm going to give up all devices after 10 p.m. at least. Um, because I'm very good at leaving my phone behind. I'm extremely good at leaving my phone. I never need my phone. And then when I'm in my downtime that I could absolutely do without my tablet or my phone, there I am scrolling or going shopping.
Yeah.
No need at all, but there you go. So yeah.
And it's amazing what a time sucker, it the social media and these reels, I mean, it just sucks the time out of your day. Before you know it, it's like been 10 minutes and you're scrolling through reels and all that, but we do want people to watch our reels, right?
Yes, yes. You can follow us on TikTok and on Facebook, and there are some shorts on YouTube as well because we are creating Life Mastery TV.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
So more content
yeah,
coming out.
so we're yeah, so I'm pleased we got through a lot. We went through so there's the checklist. I love the checklist that you put in here. So we
Yeah, so
can what actions that you want to create this month.
yep.
So we can go ahead and complete the checklist. What else do you have? You've got the weekly planner
Yes, there's a
and the
weekly
monthly
planner that
planner.
people can just print as many as they like, and then there's a monthly planner for those that prefer a monthly planner. So yeah, so this
Oh,
work,
that's
it- it's not, it's like we keep going back to routines because I think a routine plays a big part on self-development and on moving forward. And like you said, Norma, very well, habit stacking, because when you have the routine that in the morning you do your exercise, you do, like you wash your teeth, and then you put your sunscreen, because you do one thing after the other, and you don't forget, and then it gets in the habit. And for me, I want to be a routine person. I really like routines. I like the idea of routines. I do certain things every day, like walking, like my self care, like, but I don't necessarily do it in an order. Like it's not, in the morning I wake up, I do this, I do that, because I'm I get very anxious if I start, and this started funnily enough with my financial um, habits. I created a budget, and like for 6 months I could not for the life of me get the thing right. And when I finally did, and I followed Dave Ramsey, and I followed a lot of people, and it I got so into Dave Ramsey and into, so this zero balance budget, which I love. But it got to a point that I would have a screaming match with my husband because there were $5 missing from the thing, and I didn't know where it was, and it would stress me out, right?
Yeah.
So I had to take a step back. We still meet religiously every month. We talk about our budget, about our goals, all of that. But I just know that if I go in too deep, that just takes my attention, and the rest of the things kind of start falling apart. So for me,
Yeah.
I find it the same thing with my routines, because I can be very good for 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I wake up, I drink my water, I go on a walk, I come back, I do a little bit of yoga or stretching to finish off the exercise, I take a shower, and then one day something happens that I cannot do my yoga routine after the walking, and that just sends me into a spiral, and I
Mm.
get really stressed about it. So for me, what works best is I'm going for a walk every single day. I need to get my steps in. Sometimes it's in the morning. I love that it's in the morning, but if it's not, I'm not going to stress about it. It might be after lunch, it might be instead of lunch. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as I get my steps in, right?
Yeah.
So, we're all different, and I love the idea of routines. I love the idea of a checklist. But I sit down to write a checklist, and I get into my head, and I'm there more time than I need to be, and then there goes half an hour. So that's my
Where for
story.
me, I
That's the
like
story
the
of my life.
checklist because yeah, for me, the checklist keeps me on task and I know what I need to do. And I love checking things off my list. So
It gives you a rush, right? Like,
it
yes.
does. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I
Well, I think our time is,
almost up,
up.
but you can tell us a little bit about your routines.
Yeah. So, well, I mentioned my routine earlier where I always have to have my coffee in the morning. And I tried like doing the meditation before the coffee. It just doesn't work for me, you know. So, I have my coffee, then I do the nitty pot, brush my teeth, do my meditation. Then I do my journaling. And it's a 5-year journal that I do, so, I just take a few minutes to write about my day yesterday and how things went, um, and then, um, I'll do my cardio workout or I'll go on a walk and then get in the shower, and my goal is to start my day by 10:30,
That's
so I
amazing.
don't plan any meetings before 10:30, and that's my time. That's my self-care. That's my me time. And, to your point, Sarah, there are days where, um, this morning things were a little different for me. So I didn't have a chance to do my meditation, which I feel right. I didn't get a chance to do my exercise, but I'm going to try to get that in at some point today.
Good.
So
Yeah,
it's yeah, so it's a routine, but sometimes things don't go as planned and you've got to pivot and that's okay.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. So it's different for everybody, but the
Yes.
idea is like, okay, you can go for a walk twice a week. Well, don't go, because you can't go every day, right? Just
Right.
go those 2 days that you can go, whatever you can get in, whatever works in the season of life
Yep.
you're in. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And I think we all get caught up with sometimes social media and seeing our friends doing this and doing that and we compare ourselves to them and we want to be like them, but we have to remember that we're all individuals. and we're all on a different journey. No one's journey is going to be like yours. And, it just embrace it and work through it and, reset it at the end of the month, the beginning of the month, reset. But that's not to say, you know, I can do bad next month or this month and make up for it. It's what we talked about, kind of like habit stacking, understanding what worked, what didn't work. And when you look at what didn't work, why didn't it work? And what can you do to continue working on it as you start the new month? So that's where we were talking about the reset. It's not like, well, let's forget about it and start all over. It's learning from the past and bringing that forward and making adjustments.
Yes, definitely. And that's a great note to end this call
Yeah.
today.
All right, Sarah. Well, you have a great rest of your afternoon.
And you as well, my friend. And you all, I hope your day goes as planned. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, join us next month for this reset. And we'd love to have you join us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.